Welcome to Dow Stock Talk, where I talk about topics relating to finance and investing, but more specifically, the stock market. Now, in this video, I'll be going over support and resistance. But you know it, before we get started, make sure you smash the like button because it helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps YouTube know that I provide quality content and help my videos reach a broader audience. This is going to be a part of a series, so I'll create a playlist so you can go right along. So if you're completely new, you can start there and then you can go on until you can't go on no more. I just wanted to make this known. Whenever you look at resistance and support, a lot of times this is a common thing they look at with trading. So if you were investing long term, and if you were looking at the company's fundamentals and the company all independently, you wouldn't have to really worry about this resistor and support. But this is normally for people who are buying and selling off of price action. And if you don't know the difference between trading and investing, make sure you check out the suggested videos. Okay, so let's get into it. What is support? What is resistance? So pretty much it works like this. And this video is for beginners, so don't worry, I'm going to explain everything. By the way, I provided timestamps, so if you wanted to see how it is with an actual stock, you can skip to that part. Now, the thing with support and resistors, you can think about it as the high points and the low points of the stock price. So normally the stock price could fall within a certain range, and we can see with the green that's the support. So that would be like a price range, and then this would be the resistance. So meaning that the price normally once it gets to this range, it doesn't break it. Of course, eventually the support and resistors will be broken. This could be what you consider a range as far as about the highs and the lows. So the whole idea with the support and resistors, it can give you a good indication to when to buy and sell. So as you can see, they got the little pinball action. The closer it is to the support, it could definitely be a buying signal. And the closer it is to the resistors, which means you probably want to take profit. So this I think is a really good image for like a beginner so that they can kind of completely understand. Alright, so next, this is what you call a candlestick chart. And by the way, if you don't know what a candlestick chart is, don't worry. I made a video on reading different types of stock charts, so you can just check the suggested videos above. But as you can see, the resistance line is at the top, which means that the stock price, once you get to that range, it pretty much drops back down. And this is a support, which means like once the stocks get to this point, it normally bounces back up. So if you could see, the support is roughly about $40 and the resistance is at 110. So you can see here it's a support, then it bounced back up, then there's got some resistance, so it bounced back down. The support, resistance, so support, resistance. So it's pretty much a range right there, which a range where the stock price normally fluctuate in between. Okay, so this particular one, when you kind of think about it, is normally like when you're doing buying and selling, you normally look at it as a range, because when we see an actual example, I guess the points, touch is not going to be like that. So a lot of times what you're going to have to do is draw zones. And don't worry, in the next part, I will show you, the support and resistors, and I briefly drew where you could say sell areas and buy areas. Okay, and this is the last part I want to go over before we look at the actual stock chart. So as you could see, I definitely want to go over this because I think it's very important. As you can see there, we've seen a low price action right here, high, and that's normally stayed in that range for a while. But this particular area is what you call a breakout. So a breakout is when past that resistant area, and then this is a common thing where you normally see happen, like once it break it, and sometimes it'll come back down, but sometimes it could come back down. But in this case, as you've seen, this is a new support. So since it's broken this area, we see that going forward, that this is now a nice support and this is a new resistor, and then that's another breakout. So I definitely just want to go over, because these are the fundamentals. Once again, there's other technical indicators and stuff you want to look at. So just don't take this and think, okay, I know this, I'm going to make a lot of money. No, it doesn't work like that. But I just wanted to give you a general understanding of how it works. So let's check out an actual stock so we can end up seeing how that works. Okay, so this is an actual stock. By the way, this is Tesla. It's a popular stock. I thought I might go over it. And as you see, as a practical example, I use Tesla's. I roughly drew the lines for the supports and resistors. So if you are very experienced with trading, just know this is a general example, so the lines is not going to be perfectly there. But as you can see, I made the chart looking from 2017 to 2020, and as you can see, from 2017 to all the way, if we can look at 2020, the price of the stock was between $50 and $75. Now I know you guys, if you were following Tesla's price, you was like, no, I think it would be like 200. But remember, Tesla did a stock split, so this would be the price if you considered the stock split. And by the way, if you didn't know what a stock split is, don't worry. Just check the suggested videos. I actually did a stock split on Tesla. So roughly the ranges would have been, if you didn't count the stock split, this would have been, just multiply that by 5. So that would have been like 250. And this one would have been 380, but that's besides the point. So as you could see, I drew the resistance right there. Because once it got to that point, as you could see, it had trouble breaking that $75 mark on this one. And if you look at this, we can look at the supports. Once it got to that one, it really holds steady. And the thing about it, this was over a course of course you had some areas where it broke out a little bit, but this was over the 3-year time span. So you could really see that this was really a strong support and resistor. And I definitely want to give you a little insight. Normally when you see a breakout or something like that, like what we consider right here would be a breakout, normally something in the news had to happen or some information that the market wasn't expected. Because I followed this stock a lot, I can exactly tell you what happened in this particular area. So this was the area where, you know, Tesla was receiving a lot of good news, and they've definitely seen a positive cash flow, and they was talking about building another car manufacturer company in China, and investors, big institutions really like that. So that's when you seen it broke the resistance line a lot. And then what ended up happening is, and as you could see, you had you seen the stock end up going up, and then at this particular time you probably had a little FOMO, and then after that, that's when the stock price dropped a little bit, and we know the rest where it ended up going from there. But this was actually in Yahoo. Let me also show you remember I was talking about the ranges before, right? So this is the top resistor, this is the support, and like this is the range. So remember in that other picture we had buy and sell. This would be the area, around the area you would buy. This would particularly be the area where you would end up selling, because that's selling or taking profit, should I say. And by the way, I definitely wanted to mention, let's actually go back to this one. So what normally happens right here, and I don't want to get into too much details, but this is normally where you could set a stop loss. So meaning that if it goes below the support, you know, that's not a normal pattern that you end up seeing, and you don't know where it's going to go. So that's why some people just take that loss if it breaks the support, you know, and people normally could take profit around this area. I just wanted to go over that pretty quickly. And in this particular area, this is just on TradingView. So this is a lot of the times the platform that traders would end up using. I just wanted to give you an example. So as you could see, we have a strong support right here, resistor. And if you're going back to the other example, remember when I was telling you the support, resistor, and then it switched to a new support and a new resistor. This is a perfect example, and this is a Tesla. And by the way, we're looking at this from 2014 to almost 2019. So as we could see, we had a strong support here. We had a small, it went down a little bit, but generally speaking, it was a strong support right there. Yes, you could see touch here, it dropped down a little bit here, touch here. So the more touches that happen around that area, to me, it definitely gives me an indication that it would be a good support. Same thing from right here, the resistor right here, right here, right here, right here. And that's when you can end up drawing the ranges, so it won't exactly be perfect. And once again, this is just for beginners purposes. So, you know, don't be too hard on me. So in this particular area, this was the resistance, but once it broke, now this is the new support, and we found a resistance level right in there. And in my next video, I'll be going over different technical indicators that you can use to buy and sell stocks. And that concludes this video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to my channel.